It's not level. And then take a deep. We're going to start with some breathing. So make it a stretch. Reach all the way. Expand out to the sides. So pulling energy through your feet. Imagine the inside of your legs as being the channel up through the center of the body with each breath. And so here we're concerned more with the lung capacity than the rate. So continue to, as if by breathing all the way, you can pull energy with the lungs working. So we want to think of the inside as being relaxed and the outside is doing the shape. Now, whether you choose to see that as an outside is the external body, or quite literally the inside of the body, the way the energy moves here, and the structure coming from the outside. Go, please. We're going to do some more Qigong today, so we're going to close this. Usually I like to breathe quite a bit, so just do 3 more long, deep. You finish. Return back to Tai Chi. So normally I like to do quite a bit of stretching. We'll do one stretch first, which is using Tai Chi in harmony. If you activate your feet and you're turning center. So make your spine as straight as it can be. And you can time it with the breathing. We're going to turn to each side. Go at your own pace. Relax your shoulders. So normally I talk about this one like twisting a towel or a rag. But we want to imagine the spiral continues up and beyond. So you can think of it almost like a type of ice cream cone where the yogurt, where it has a coil, and then the energy itself, the individual ice cream coming out also has a coil, and it goes all the way up to the top. And when it reaches the top, there's actually a loop. So make sure the energy is going all the way. twisting all the way. This one will really force you to see where there's tension in your back. So allow it to unravel all the way up to the head top. Don't twist your knees. Go at your own pace, and on these next few, try to time your breathing so you're inflated at the maximum when you turn. And when you reach that maximum, try to let your lungs fill up all the way to the top eaves. Do two more at your own pace. Then come back to the center, and then calibrate again. Activate your feet, relax your legs, sink your tailbone, use your center to support, and then pushing up to the top half of your spine. Let your shoulders relax even more. Like in the morning when you wake up and you stretch, pull up through the back of your neck, keep your chin tucked, tongue is connected to the roof of the mouth. Activate the corners of the mouth. And then relax. We're going to do two more stretches, and then we're going to do something kind of unique. We're going to do some Qigong to learn Tai Chi. We're going to use the feeling that we get from doing Qigong and then apply it to our Tai Chi practice to improve. This is a bit of a backwards type exercise because Tai Chi should contain everything. So why don't we use Tai Chi to learn Qigong? We do. So activate your feet, push your tailbone back and away, and relax your shoulders, relax your spine and your back and your head top. Really allow your crown chakra to point towards the ground as much as you can by relaxing and releasing your back. Remember to breathe. So feel the energy moving in your back. We just did all of that twisting, so now let gravity do the work. You've just allowed everything to loosen up, so now allow it to expand naturally with gravity. And then when you're ready on your own, activate your feet, lock yourself to the ground, and then use your abs, engaging the stomach muscles, roll up all the way, inflating all the way, and then allowing the hands to hit the sides here, gallbladder meridian. And then we'll do that one more time. So on your own, grip your feet, push your tailbone back and away, relax your whole torso, your shoulders, your arms, your head top. Feel the blood flow. Really let everything relax. Let gravity do the work on its own. And then when you're ready, grip your feet and like a wave, locking your lower body into place, allow your spine to unwind, inflate all the way, hands going all the way up. And then, again, letting gravity do the thing. So there's some points on gallbladder meridian here on the side. If you take your middle fingertips and imagine you have a seam on the pants, and if you just touch right there, and then forming a circle, apply pressure to that point. You can do this as type of massage, or you can also just hitting this way. it's about the midpoint for the gallbladder meridian. So think of it, if you have a string on an instrument, plucking the middle of the string will still make the sound. So we don't have to go to the extents or find an exact point. The other thing we're going to do is some leg stretching. So grip one foot, push your tailbone back and away. You can use something for support. You can use your own leg for support, but we're going to stretch the legs differently later. So reaching out over the toes, pull your toes up towards your nose, and then either push your chin forward or tuck it all the way down to the sternum. Remember to breathe the same long, deep breathing that we started with. Reach a little bit further before you change, and on your own, when you're ready, stand up, push forward. Standing foot. Relax your tailbone, reach forward. Pull your toes back towards your center. Either push your chin forward or tuck it under. So next, I want to have we're going to do some standing, just some very basic standing exercises. And in some practices, this is called holding the ball. Some teachers refer to it as holding the tree, right? And so there's a number of different ways that you can place your arms. There's no set way. It's what will feel comfortable when the chi is working inside of your body. So whether you hold it very round this way, like you're holding a container, whether you allow the elbows to relax quite a bit, as if you have a column or a tree here in the center, isn't important as much as it is important to connect the arms as if they're one thing. In the Mandarin, it's called Tongbei, and it's where we get the term from Tongbei, fan through back this way. Meaning, if the power is coming in this way, it's transferred through the arms energetically. So we want to feel structurally, we have these legs and we have this crossbeam at the pelvis, and that we can allow that structure itself to sit. So make your feet parallel, sink your tailbone down using your center, relax your tailbone, and then you can forget your arms for right now. Push your head top up. So almost like a crane, we have the base and then the spine going up through the center. And then from here, just allow just the palms, so your shoulders stay relaxed and sunk, and your elbows are also empty. Wrists are empty, and the hands are empty. You can bring them up or as much or as little as you like, but we're going to deal with sort of three positions, the basic one being in the front. And then if you allow that to sink, like you're holding, imagine you have a ball here, so your elbows going out. And we can forget about the ball, the idea of two objects can't occupy the same space. Imagine it's a ball of chi. And so we're holding the center of it here. And imagine how many here have ever, worked with a yoga ball, right? They have a rubber plastic surface. So imagine you're standing in the water, and the water comes up to about your hips, about the same level as where your hands are. You're holding the yoga ball. And feel as if the water, where it connects to the yoga ball, there's this type of surface tension that creates like a grip. And so while you're standing, allow your arms just to be shaped by the ball and feel the weight of it. So it's stuck to the water. And then from here, just pull your head top. Keep your tailbone in the same place and feel the weight. Yoga ball may be empty, right? The chi may be insubstantial, but the surface of it is there. The structure of it is there. And the way that it sticks to the water allows the arms to have shape. And it makes it feel heavy, the suction point where the rubber connects to the surface of the water. And then standing, while you're pulling your head top up, that you can lift the yoga ball just off the surface, but without disconnecting it, so that you're pulling it up gently. So you still feel the weight, but you can feel it disconnect from the surface. And then allow it to relax again. So this is a very small, very subtle movement. Side. Keep the round shape. Have your elbows feel expanded. And then the same thing, lifting. So at the same time while we're breathing, we're lifting the base of the torso. And you feel just the weight on your fingertips. So pull up through the head top as if your whole structure is lifting the yoga ball. But it's internal. The movement is so small because it's just between the surface of the chi and the surface of the water, the surface of the ball. And then feel as if that surface connection. And then when you practice lifting, like you're pulling it up, you don't want to disconnect. And then set it back down. You can time it with your breathing. You can go on your own, go slowly. Practice lifting. The three phases of a Tai Chi movement that we talked about, Hua, Na, and Da. The second one, make contact, sometimes referred to as keep in touch. TC would say, keep in touch with your opponent. So the same thing here, when we lift, when you feel that you're lifting, allow the surface to keep in touch so the weight is still there. Set it back down, make the contact point. And then let go of the yoga ball, just relax. Imagine your arms super lightweight and the yoga ball so that your arms, for me, I like to think of resting my arms on the crown surface. So you have to relax your shoulders and your elbows. It may feel more comfortable to hold around the equator and make a connection between your middle fingers and your pericardium channel this way through the center. And you may actually be easier to hold underneath as if the structure of the ball is keeping your head top upright. And then you're going to change. So take your palms and turn them over. And just at about the height of the sternum. So we're going to do the same exercise that we were just doing for the right shoulder. This will top up. And this one, like you're pushing, this time your hands on top of the ball. So make them round. Feel the surface. Your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists, as if they're supported by. And the same thing, you can imagine the water is lower, you can imagine a smaller ball, either way. And how many here have gone swimming this summer? When you go to the pool and you push yourself out from the side of the pool this way, right? The same thing, imagine, just like we did earlier, like you're pushing down with your palms to push your head top up, using the yoga ball, the chi ball, the beach ball, something spherical. And then relax. And so for here, the same thing. Earlier, we felt the surface tension by pulling up. Here, we want to feel the surface tension by pushing down. So you're pushing yourself up. And then when you relax, you feel letting go. So again, you can time it with your breathing. See what it is to do on an inhale. Step spine. And then again, Turn to a more relaxed. May even feel as if you're holding the yoga ball not around the equator this way, but around one of the idioms. It may feel better just to stand like this. This is the original Mabu horse stance. So however you feel comfortable standing, keep the arms round. Relax your shoulders and your elbows. As if the roundness, by keeping that expanded like a hose with water pressure inside of it, the more open it is, the more the energy holds the shape. So then now, because we've been standing for a little bit, double check your legs, grip your toes. You can flex your toes inside of your shoes a little bit, and then stick your tailbone down, as if you have something right here that you can just allow the lower body to relax. And then, how many here have gone to aquarium, or if you go down to the coast, some places where there's rocks, you can see starfish. So imagine your body is a five-pointed invertebrate object. Forget about your bones for a minute and imagine that you just have the muscles and tendons. Just like a starfish, you have one extension, two, three, four, and the head top going up. So put your mind on the soft tissue outside of your bones. Now allow that tissue to expand, if you've ever seen the way. When you watch a horror movie, you see something you don't like, your skin, you get the feeling of your skin crawling. It's a negative, bad feeling. So in this one, just feel your soft tissue. The bone's just kind of there. You can relax your shoulders, expand your muscle tissue, the tendons. In the Tao, it says, can you be soft like a baby? So feel in your back and your neck where all the tension is, and allow it to relax. Extending your head top is an interesting stretch. We can, while you're holding, while I'm talking, keep your position, keep expanding. We can do stretches to learn how to stretch out the arm, and the same thing for the leg. We can practice stretching this out, but we don't have a way to talk about stretching the upper body. So in Tai Chi, we use a lot of different words, examples. Then bring your feet together, bring your hands together in the center. We're going to do Tai Chi. Before we do, anyone have questions, thoughts, comments, ideas? I want you to carry this feeling of your arms being lightweight when we practice Tai Chi, so that we don't have this kind of bending or folding when we're doing the postures. It should be open, and the arms working as one piece, always having that round shape. Even when we return to Tai Chi Harmony, in this one, you should feel as if the whatever crease is in the elbow is a crease that's hollow, that has still capacity for the energy to run through it. The same thing with the elbows. It may look very relaxed, but there's a space. The crease isn't folded, it's rounded, so the energy can still travel through. And this gets down to the wrist and all the joints and the fingertips. So carry that round shape. Starting from the center, we're just going to do the third section because I don't know how we're doing it on time. So we'll try to practice something medium, sort of medium speed. So starting from Tai Chi Harmony, starting in the center. Normally in the first section we start off to the right, but because we're starting in the third section, we can be centered. And then opening shoulder width wide, connect your arms, connect your hands. One thing. left hand. Bring the feet together. Close the hands. Feet step or foot step. Turning to the south. Palm press to the center. Deep for rollback. Relax your lower body. Think about when we're standing. Press to the south. Keep your arms rounded and expanded. Push. You can imagine the yoga ball in every posture. You can make it larger or smaller. Double press. Go at your own pace, turning 90 degrees. We're facing east. The Alsho is hooked. Even here, stay rounded. Feel the round shape. Relax your arms. This wild horse parting its mane. Relax your lower body. Then pull back. This when we turn the feet. Make the arms round. Press. Arms round. Push. Look left. Glance right. Up. Horizontal split. Turn the feet, line yourself up to the north. The Alsho. Hook. This is side whip. We're going between east and west. And four corners. Yuyan Chuan So. Delicate lady working. Boom. Turning 270. West. Turning 90. South. Turning 270. To the southeast. Next, we're going to turn to face due east. We're traveling in the cardinal direction. Facing east, press left. Forward. The arms right. Should feel so lightweight. Horizontal split hands. First snake leads down. Facing west, D long. Standing on the left side, Jinji Du Li. Jinji Du Li. Right to pulse. Step. Center. Shift. Side. Shoulder. Stand. On. Seam. San Tong Bei, the arms. Stand it. Keep your head top up. Tingle Hua. Facing west. Shan Bu. Step. Liu. Roll back. Body. Expand your upper body. Horizontal. Split hand. Stay round. Hook. This is side whip or parallel. And this is cloud hands in the third section. Shift and press right. Turn step, push left, step, one more, side, breathe, corner whip. We're turning 90 degrees, continue waist turn, snake flashing its tongue, 180, pull right, kick right, cross kick, brush low, punch the groin, keep your head top up, chin is tucked, move far, change step, expand circle, top, relax your root, connect yourself to the ground by relaxing. Horizontal, split. This is a corner whip. I'm turning to the west. This is the second snake creeping down. And when we return this time, stepping up to 7 stars. We're going to turn 90 degrees to face the north. 4, Fafu, right tiger. We're going to turn 180 to the south for Bailian, lotus kick. Facing sort of the southwest, Wongong Suhu is open the bow to shoot a tiger, block, punch, kick, square step, breathe deep, expand, punch. Like wiping around the surface of the ball and then pressing right through the center. Turn 90 degrees to the north. This is return tiger to mountain, blocking, punch right, left, bring everything back to the center. Okay, how do you feel? Good, and we have plenty of time. Because the next thing I want to work on, so that's earlier in the practice, we do this kind of standing. Standing practice is extremely underrated. It's very valuable to your practice. If you knew Gene at the end every class used to say, stand like this for 20 minutes first thing when you wake up in the morning. That's a pretty intense request for a teacher to be making for the student, is doing 20 minutes of static standing when you wake up. But if you listen to what he says, there's some value to it. For those of you that have ever met, there's a fellow that teaches Tai Chi in Mar Vista, living in Pasadena, named Master Chi Chen Guo. And Master Guo teaching Tai Chi, and his classes in Mar Vista Park are 2 hours long. The first hour is standing like this. He may come around to the students and help them, and if they're all advanced, they just stand for an hour, and then they do Tai Chi. So the goal today is to talk about some of the benefits for this kind of standing. It's going to be a yin-yang teaching because everything we did earlier is very internal. The feeling of stretching your muscles around the surface of your bones, the feeling of this subtlety of lifting the chi, feeling the energy, and then being able to push ourselves up on something that's insubstantial, right, by using the chi to lift the chi. The next thing we're going to do, what I'd like to work on is, because everyone here is working third section, is snake creeping down, right? This one, I want to be able to get people, in the future, we're talking about offering different classes. And my class is very easy, very simple, right? We're just standing around the whole time doing a little bit of Tai Chi. There's no extreme stuff. And I'd like to either get into a class or get into a situation where we can start practicing some of and talking about some more advanced external stuff. Uh, the reason I know that it's valuable and that it can be done for, doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter what kind of injuries you've had, is I see uh, Grandmaster Sousaphone doing this kind of exercise for many, many years. And Wang Zihai, the Piguachong Grandmaster lineage holder, these people are much older than us and they can do things we can't do. So I want to start practicing on how to get there, and we're going to start with what we had just talked about. So this posture, before we continue, questions, thoughts, comments, ideas. The posture that we're doing is snake creeping down, and it comes off of it occurs 2 times in the third section. We have a hook, and then we do a single whip. If I just use a basic square step, we can do the posture. We don't have to do some kind of crazy swallow skims the water type movement. We can just use the basic square. So if I have hook and I turn my square 90 degrees this way, it means my circle, this circular movement is just going to be the size of my square. So when I turn and return back this way, the circle I'm making with my arm, it's still valid martial arts technique. If somebody's reaching and they reach palm up, we can use this circle to catch and use it to control their arm, right? So we allow their weapon to come in, and if it's a punch or it's something where the palm is turning, we can allow that turn to continue without doing a lot of work, right? In fact, maybe the smaller one is an even higher level technique. But then the most extreme, so that's the most basic, is we use the square, and we use that square to determine the size of the circle up top. But a lot of times you see, when I do this one, I take a larger step. And so whether I'm counting that as a square or make it into a rectangle, we're still using the geometry to keep the alignment for the legs. And this one from here is if the other person is lunging, they have a weapon and they're pressing it forward, or they're attacking with this type of long punch, right? Cheng Tuan. Is as it comes in, I'm shifting from one side all the way to the other. This is like if you're working somewhere with some heavy bag, cement, something, and you want to move the whole thing. This is a throw, right? You have an opponent. And so we want to be able to do this our whole lives for a very long time without having an injury, right? You may see videos on YouTube where these people come out and do all kinds of fancy stuff. But without the correct alignment, without the correct teaching on how to move, they'll be coming to you later with injuries, right? I've had a lot of people coming to Tai Chi, martial artists, dancers, whatever, looking for some practice where they can heal themselves. And my goal for you, the purpose of this teaching is to teach you how to do it so you don't have an injury, and then some years later you can help someone else. So when we do this, my alignment is staying the same. So for this type of exercise, if you take a horse stance, right, make your feet parallel, relax your tailbone, and then turning one foot out to the side, and then return. And so here, I'm making the power go from my heel to my hip so that I can pivot fairly easily. I want you to protect your knee by lining it up to your knee and your hip this way. And if we just shift from one side to the other, don't let your hip or your knee go past the outside edge of the foot, and then change to the other side. So shifting between the two. Here we can still think about having a square. We just have our feet on the parallel sides of the square, right? And like I said, my camera always looks like my feet are going out at an angle. But actually, I want you to make sure you line them up. So when I'm doing hook and whip, if I just take this type of horse stance and I turn this way, the hand and foot moving at the same time. This is just like in the first section, if we have holding the moon in the chest, when we have Feng Shen Pi Feng Shui, right? These moving, playing, foot moving at the same time. So that means my gate over here is closing as this side closes, so does the foot. So as I turn, this side's staying stable. And this is where we can practice the stretch. I know some of you are probably very flexible and can do all types of different stretching. For the rest of us, if you grip your foot, you can use your leg, and because this is an exercise, we're not doing a form right now. You can use any type of tool to assist yourself. If you want to use a piece of furniture, something stable to rest on, and practice sitting your tailbone back and away so that your foot is lined up this way. Sorry. The goal is to keep the lower leg lined up here so that even if right now you see my foot, I'm allowing it to slide, but if I keep it in the same position, even as I want to sink my tailbone back and away so that this is always lined up. If I make it really, really wide, the same thing. And the most extreme variation of this is sometimes you may see Tai Chi people going really, really low onto the ground, just so that you know for the future, is to start to tilt this foot this way and then move, starts to connect. That's, by the way, I don't, for people practicing very extreme level of practice. For us, take a nice wide fourth stance. Make it comfortable. And then just pushing your hip back towards the corner pocket. Look at your foot. Make sure that it's lined up. You can put your hand here and start to reach towards your other toe. By the way, while we're doing all this, we also have to maintain the Tai Chi principles. So we need to keep the head top straight, the chin tucked, shoulders relaxed, right? This is the challenge. By the way, these Tai Chi ideas, they're very easy to practice when we go slow and we talk about specifically. They're very challenging to practice when you just catch the wave and it's a little bit faster than you thought, to stay calm and be able to maintain. And when I say catch the wave, I'm talking about doing some type of surfing. But then it also happens, whatever our experience. In this particular one, we're doing something unusual, practicing some type of stretching. So, remembering, keeping the spine straight, and then stress on their knees. Because for these, we shouldn't feel any stress on the knees. In fact, for this one, where you really want to be feeling it is on the inside of this leg. You may feel a little bit on the inside of this leg. And so try to sit the butt towards the heel. Keep the spine straight. And if we have to do anything with the spine, we can either keep it vertically this way or start to turn it towards the foot. That stuff is all kind of more advanced. Only go as far as you can safely reach, right? Rome was not built in a day, but this kind of stretching can actually open you up quite quickly. And so for Aaron, you have this actually, when we turn this foot out to do this stretch, try to keep it sideways until the very end if you want to step up this way. You see how I'm turning my knee from the heel? Be very, very careful about that. Yeah, go ahead. You can unmute yourself, I think. You can't hear. Try now. Okay. Yeah, I can.
Can you snake stand facing us?
Yes.
So I can see when do you separate your hands in the bottom?
Okay, yeah, I'll talk about that. Sorry, I got a little focused on the stretch. Yeah, let's talk more about the posture. So, remember, for this posture, and this one, if I'm going in this direction here, I'll turn the other way. So if I have a hook, and when I turn the step, I can make this a basic square, right? I have a square shape. I can just turn to here after my hook, and then this hand coming across is matched with this one. The idea is that there's a weapon that's coming in, and we're reaching under it with one hand and over it with the other. So from the hook and far whip, this is the first thing. Like we're closing on that jet here, and then this hand continues down and makes a circle. So I'm turning my foot out. If you want to mirror, and so really the hands, they don't actually do this, but you can make it that way if you, when you're doing either the competition or you like to go to the park and the people watching and you want to show them your mystical Tai Chi practice, you can make, instead of these palms overlapping here, right, where it's like one is, there's actually something between them and you're holding it this way to pull down, you can just bring them together here, just like as if you're doing, practicing some type of yoga, right? That's a stylistic thing. But really, imagine you have somebody's hand here, and this hand goes inside the wrist. The momentum, while it looks like a circle, the drive goes straight down. Remember, to defeat our opponent, we want to use everything to our resource. So we use gravity. So even though I don't show it going down, we can think of it like, imagine somebody's handing you a stick. When you pull it over, we're planting it straight into the ground. And what that does for the opponent, this is, if you read the version of the Tai Chi Classics from Wei Sun Lao that I recommend, he has some drawings. This is, you're taking the opponent's energy here and then changing the direction really fast. It's difficult for them to keep track of. A circle, they may be able to roll out of it. But, and when we practice the form, we're doing a circle, right? It's Tai Chi, it's a gentleman's boxing art. We can be soft to the opponent because we have the power. But if you want to practice a hard style, it goes down, right? It comes across and down. But in the form, we can just make this nice circle. And so you see I'm using my legs. They don't turn more than 90 degrees, right? One may be in front of the other. And remember, from the hook and whip, I'll do a mirror on this side. It's hook. And then I can step further to make sure that I have a lot of space. And then returning, the first one, we come back with, there was no posture in there for TC. There's actually a little something that, I got the name from Master Yun. Maybe exists in another Taiji form. But this movement coming back through the center, D-long, is striking the opponent's groin. So this movement here, getting into the opponent's center for martial art, and this other hand is blocking this way. And so then we just continue into the Jinjitu Li, right, on that side. And so this is a place where you can really practice your balance. If you really want to show off and go to the competition, is from here, if I do hook and whip, and I come across this kind of movement, my foot's all the way back here, coming up here. By the way, this is another thing I wanted to talk about is different styles of doing the snake creeping down. So we've just talked about what's the activity, right? If I have hook and single whip, is I'm pulling somebody off of their root, right? If you imagine playing push hands with somebody and they reach in and you make the circle come over and go down, right? They go down this way and we come back, make a circle here. But what about this one? How many have seen a Tai Chi practitioner and they have hook, and single whip, and then they come across here, and they down this way. You can practice that way, right? For those studying the Bagua, the posture is called swallow, skims the water. In the Tai Chi, snake creeps down, coming across. Keep your spine straight the whole time. And then when you get to here, think about lining up your elbow and knee on both sides so that your arms are round, like you're holding. The arms never go straight. That's only for exercise, for stretch, for yoga. And when we're practicing the Tai Chi form, here it's either round, or you may see some people very good can make a yin yang, right? So from the hook and whip, right? This two arms making like a Tai Chi yin yang. So take a little bit at a time, right? That actually looks really good, Mark. That's the I can see there's a shape to the movement that comes out in what you just did. So whether you're working on the flow, whether you're working on the stretch, whether you're working on the meaning, what is the application of it? Uh, this is the kind of the sort of next type of stretching internally, what we did earlier, right? Stretching your tendons and muscles outside of the body. And then being able to comfortably, safely, continuously get into the right position. So, by the way, if you start doing this as a stretch, I want you to really mind your body and become very aware. Another thing in these classes that I've been trying to do is get you to feel when we do Tai Chi harmony in the center. If we go back to the very most basic, there's no movement outside. Some of the Taoist literature, it says when the outside is moving, the inside is still. And it says when the outside is still, the inside is moving. And so whether you want to interpret this as while I'm standing, I can actually be doing Tai Chi and correct, make my posture better and better, more relaxed. Or the Chi, you can think of the Chi as moving. When we become static, you can think of it like a jar is filled with a silt, with dust and water. And when you shake it up, it's very cloudy. Somebody said, like a snow globe, but snow globe settles right away. Within a minute, the particle's so big and heavy. But we're talking about transferring chi, which is invisible, it's insubstantial, into something real, jing, which is our health, the bodily energy and fluids, things that are real. We can see blood. We can see what our body produces as jing. So when the outside is still, the inside is moving. We can convert the chi. This is why you see masters sitting to meditate. You can do the standing to meditate. But improve your internal game. Become aware of how tense your shoulders really are. And imagine the type of stretching you have to do to your neck to alleviate the number of years they've been crunched up in that position. And then to be able to improve the internal game every time we change. If we go to sit down somewhere, okay, great. Oh, the posture changes. Yeah. And then when we stand up, we should get right back into it. The faster you can return to the Tai Chi posture, it's like an injury. How many here have ever had something you fall off of? You fall down a step, skateboard, fall off a horse, something, and it looks like the person broke their body in half, and they get up and shake it off. The sooner you can get back to normal. This is what animals in the wild, when you see cat fall off of a very large thing, they can shake their spine right back into the right shape and go back about it. The faster you can recover, the faster you can be, the faster you can allow your chi to grow, collect, and enhance. So the same thing, whatever it is, you have an encounter, somebody you haven't met before, there's the stress, right? You deal with a new situation, there's stress. It's the sooner we can recover, the sooner we can go back to feeling what's out of place on the inside. And then for our own practice, like I said, I want you guys to expand. How many doing this one every day? Stretching the hamstrings, right? This should be a daily practice. Even if you don't have anything that's at that level, we can do this one. Just 1 minute a day will change. Even 30 seconds just doing the posture will allow your structure to get into the right place. So the form, practicing the Tai Chi form, only valuable if we maintain the palm, if we have that expansion in the arms, the lower body relaxed. And then once the body is highly normalized, we can start to expand and stretch and turn that into the next, sort of the next level. So think of it like building a vessel. I think it's getting on time. Imagine Taoist idea is first you have to make the vessel, you have to sculpt it out of clay. And then once it's baked, you have to fill it and test it. And then you can use the vessel all the time. So your body, just like this, we want to be able to improve the inside, then improve the outside, and then we can start doing things with it. Before we close, anyone have questions, thoughts, comments, ideas? Let's actually do a little bit of qigong to close, and we'll do some turning. So with this one, I really want you, because we didn't really do a lot of this today, right? We should have one waist turn in every posture, but we're focusing on other things to form. So keeping your hands inside, reaching and turning the waist all one. You can make it linear, or you can just connect it circle. So the other. So breathe. Be sure to put power all the way to the fingertips. So as you turn, you should feel your arms getting a stretch. The same way we twisted the torso earlier. In this case, we're twisting the whole arm through the shoulder and down through the toe. Fingertips to the tail. The whole body is working. So you just have class Saturday morning. You have the whole weekend ahead. You can take the time of deep breath after you finish the work and accomplish the breath. And that's the kind of deep breathing we should be doing all the time. So if you have a smile and you do that type of deep breathing, somebody once translated it to me as victory breath. The same thing. When you win, you have a half smile. Take a full, long breath. Go at your own pace. Do 1, 2, finish, center. And then move to take a second. And then take different type of stock. Take stock in how you feel, how your body feels. So practicing Tai Chi is an investment in yourself. We don't have to practice form. Instead, we stand, sit, so make note of the feeling. I feel after breathing. Get out of its way naturally. Letting all go. Move your body to the dantian and take a second to smile to yourself. There's whole meditation practices based on smiling at individual organs, smiling at your brain. In this particular case, just there's only one you. So imagine smiling at the whole you. Take one. And then ask yourself something. See yourself. Imagine yourself. And then take a second. Look. And then gratitude practice. There's been books written about it. Very simply, take a second to give thanks for yourself. You have a body, mind, energy, spirit capable of doing, learning Tai Chi, self improvement. Give thanks to yourself for all the people, all the circumstances that make it possible. Taking a deep breath. So we still need to work out what are some good practice times. I will, of course, send out an email about that, and Aaron and I will have to coordinate. I'm really looking forward to his classes, and I hope that if he's offering them, that you take them. Uh, have a great weekend, and yeah, you're still muted. Hang on. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Do you have class tomorrow?
No, I haven't been teaching on Sunday nights. I like not last week, but the week before, I set up my camera to do stuff, and and then I remembered that the week prior, when I was in Westwood, said something along the lines like, "Oh, well, those classes may be later," or something like that. So, no, I was not planning on it. But this is, I'm hoping that you can use this time as an opportunity to practice, because practicing will really help you know what questions you have, right? If you practice, you say, instead of trying to watch a YouTube, instead of trying to follow along an audio or text or something, is seeing what you can do, what you can remember. It's okay to skip parts of it, like learning a song. You may know the chorus and not much of the verses. So just skip those. Just play the parts of the song that you do know, and see what you can get out of it. The sort of, with that mindset, the sort of next level from there is teaching. And teaching will really help you know what you don't know, because your students will ask you questions that you may not know the answer to, and that's okay. I know that a couple of you are teachers, so I'm not going to try to teach the teachers. But in the beginning, for our own practice, you have to find out. I want you to own it. I want you to have it. It's something you've been investing years in. So really make it yours to your level of understanding. And then at that level, once you own it, you can choose to teach or not. Right? Uh, this is the idea. TC's idea was that everyone would learn Tai Chi to the level where they felt comfortable to teach it to other people, and that means you really know it. You can go out and practice it in the park, on your roof, in your own home, without needing to see any videos. You can enjoy it and you can know it, and even at a basic level, like I know, for instance, Mark has a very large repertoire of karate and other martial arts that he's practicing. So even if you just know the first 8 to 10 postures, first section, that's good enough. And even then, if you can embody the principles, you don't ever have to practice Tai Chi ever again. Every time you get out of your car, you have the correct. Every time you sit in your car, you have the correct alignment, correct structure, breathing, mind, all that. And that's the goal. Where the rubber hits the road is being able to work in the kitchen and reach down for something low, doing Tai Chi, structural alignment day to day. Because we don't really have to fight anybody. And even if we did, we should be cultivating our meditative mind to where we can see that happening a long way off and be able to avoid it, right? Even you hear the sound of commotion before anything even happens, you know what that sound is. It's just time to go, right? A few years ago, I was in Hollywood before everything closed down, and there was a riot. It was going to be some demonstration, and I was not on the street, but you could hear lots of people, and so we go over to the edge and the railing, and you see the people. It's time to go, right? The same thing when you're out, when you hear the sound, when you feel the spidey sense tingling, you go away from that situation. What's the best way not to get into a fight? Don't be there. What's the best way not to get hit? Don't be there when the punch arrives. So the same thing as our chi and our jing and our shen, right? The chi is the insubstantial the energy we can't see, we can feel it. And we convert that to something we can see, blood and amino acids and all types of different jing, right? Fluids inside the body and even substantial tissue, muscle, and we can regrow organs and all types of different things. And then that substantial turns back to the insubstantial, the thing we can't see again, which is our spirit, right? Shen, which is loosely translated as the ghost that's inside of you. So this is the purpose for cultivating a Tai Chi, is to cultivate Chi. Once we have energy, you have energy, you feel good. When you don't, you're tired. You can't keep the structure. And then when you feel good for a long time, if you practice every day and have Chi, your body becomes healthy, right? The meridians open naturally, and the internal organs become very healthy. We can relax, and that cultivates our spirit, right? This allows us to feel good. We don't feel bad about the future, about aging, because we have some system, we have some technique by which to cultivate ourselves, cultivate our ultimately our spirit. So this is the purpose for Tai Chi, and I hope that you invest in yourself. I can come here every day and tell you the same things, but when you start to practice, if you sit or stand to meditate and get that energy on your own without having somebody to tell you, that's when you feel the real benefit. Like you have an investment. Everybody here likes money, and the money starts to come in, right? So when you sit, it's like moving around is like looking at the jar. When you shake up the jar, it takes a long time for the dust to settle. If you keep looking at the investment, right, only a penny's coming in, a little bit. So we have to stand, sit for a long time, or practice Tai Chi for some long time, and then after a while, we see and feel the full investment, the full return. Unfortunately, because we're impulsive humans that live in a time when we're focused on gratification, that's difficult. But the payoff is there. The payoff is worth it. And even just structurally, by getting yourself lined up, you can allow the structure to heal itself without any effort, just by letting gravity do the thing. All you have to do is breathe and inflate yourself with the chi. So take some time to practice. Take some time for yourself to sit and really allow the chi to settle, like the dust settling, like the investment that's building over time, boiling water, right? If we keep watching, it never boils. So, yeah, go ahead. Okay, yeah, you too. And enjoy your weekend. Yeah, if you need to go, it's past the time. We're actually about 12 minutes past. Mark, if I just clicked to unmute. So yeah, if you got to go, it's time. Otherwise,
I just wanted to add what you said about not teaching the teachers. In order to be a good teacher, you have to be a good student.
yeah.
You
Well,
always have to be learning.
thank you.
You always have to be learning.
Yeah, it's that's actually TC used to say that he learned more from his students than they learned from him, and I learn a lot from you guys. So I'm grateful, and I hope that and Mark, I know that you're teaching. Aaron, I know that you're teaching. I hope that everyone can go on to uh, and by the way, level this we're getting into teacher training. My teacher would say it doesn't matter what level you're at. Some people would say, "How can this person teach? They're way down here, and the master's way up here." Well, anybody that's if we want to look at level, anyone that's under this level can learn from this person. You don't have to be all the way up here, right? Because and most of the time. Uh, People learning Tai Chi in the beginning, they're so far disconnected. The You don't have to be super high level. Super high level is when you want to learn to fly or shoot electricity out of your fingertips, something like this, right? We'll get there. Um, yeah, email me if you have questions. I'm going to send out some email this week. I still need to figure out what times and what will work, and then we'll organize so that we can have. I've been thinking about doing a potentially live stream so you could just tune in to a practice. I'm looking at setting up some gear to be outside so that we're not inside. There's a lot of greenery. It's super green where I'm at right now. And so some things will happen. But for now, use this opportunity of sort of downtime without having classes to take some time to practice for yourself. Yeah. It's very important for those of you that don't have strong self-practice. Yeah. Thank you. Call, email me, write anytime. Yeah. Have a great weekend.